Thank you for joining me. This short practice now is just to do before you go to sleep or at a time where you just feel a little bit jitty and agitated. It is really good to have some props. So the ones that I would recommend are perhaps a cushion, and that can be from your pillow, from your bed. A couple of yoga bricks, if you have access to them, or some books. And finally, not everybody, of course, is lucky enough to have these. Yoga bolsters are awesome. So if you don't have a yoga bolster, what can be really good is to get a couple of pillows from your bed and wrap them up really tightly. Now, if you don't have those, don't worry, we can do without them. So our first practice, so this would be a great practice ideally to do before bedtime. You're going to take your yoga bricks or blocks, place them upright, and then take your sofa cushion or bolster on top. So you're in an upright position. Now, if for whatever reason you don't have these props, don't worry. Just come to lie flat on your back. So we're going to take our feet together and touch the heels and the toes and then come to lie back. So this is a really good pose to do. And if you can't sleep, this can be a little practice you can get up and just do to get you into a more relaxed state. So heels together, toes together. We've got the knees out wide in a diamond shape. If that feels uncomfortable, support your thighs. And just try to now drop into a quieter space. So close your eyes and start to notice your breath. So I'm going to get up to talk to you. You're going to stay where you are. So research shows it takes about 14 minutes on average for the human body to relax. But we can quicken this when we use the support of cushions, bolsters, and props. And when, of course, we struggle with insomnia or sleep deprivation, we can get really agitated and almost talk ourselves into not sleeping. So this practice is just to get you into a more relaxed state. So in this shape now, take a moment to feel the sensations of the entire body. There's a gentle back bend here. Can you feel the curve of the spine? Feel the lower back, mid back, and the upper back. Perhaps you can feel the general broadening across the inside of the thighs, the spaciousness across the front of the groins and the pelvis. And now take a moment to feel the layers of support beneath you. And begin to bring your awareness to your overall energetic state. Often when we are sleep deprived, we feel fatigue, a little sense of agitation. So annoying as this might be, can you allow yourself to be with it exactly as you are right now? And although it might be not easy to experience these feelings and emotions, they will pass. They're just chemistry. So just witness everything that you're experiencing now. And sometimes the reason we're agitated is because we're holding on, we're clinging, we're not letting go. So allow the next 5 breaths to be all about letting go. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out all the breath, all the breath, all the breath. And thoughts, of course, will always come into your mind. Can you witness them, not hook into them? And now the mind may well have drifted again. Just acknowledge that the mind has drifted, but come back to the next 2 breaths very consciously. And then slowly bring yourself up. So use the hands to press yourself up. And our aim now is to slow down before we sleep. So we're going to shift the bolster or the sofa cushion, whatever it is that you have. And we're going to take a supported child's pose. So a few options. We want the toes to be together and the knees wide, and we take the support beneath our tummies. So if for whatever reason your calves and thighs are tight, it can be quite nice to take a cushion between the thighs and calf muscles, and then just come to take your ear to the bolster or the corner of the eye. We're going to do each side of the head equally. So I will tell you when it's time to turn the head. So child's pose naturally lends itself to a longer exhale. So I invite you now to breathe in for a count of 4 and breathe out for a count of 6. So when we use bolsters or cushions or support beneath us, the brain receives a message that it's okay to let go. The body is held and supported. So you can switch off, you can switch the muscles off. They can just drop. So just visualize yourself dropping into those layers of support beneath you as you breathe in for a count of 4 and breathe out for a count of 6. And there is a poem from centuries ago by someone called Tsongkhapa, and it begins, "The human body at peace with itself is more precious than the rarest gem." So again, just feel your body at peace with itself. And we just have 30 more seconds on this side, just dropping into those layers of support beneath you. And then just turn your head to face the opposite direction. Again, dropping deeply into these layers of support. And often what keeps us awake is the expectation that we're not going to sleep. So sometimes using an affirmation can be quite powerful. So perhaps as you breathe out, you can just repeat quietly to yourself, "I am at peace. I am calm." Breathing in for a count of 4. Breathing out as you repeat, "I am at peace. I am calm." So very shortly, you're going to hear a little bell that will ring. And that bell is a signal that we're about to come out of this shape. When you hear it, please take 3 more deep breaths. Let each breath get deeper. And then we finish with a sigh. And then very gently, we're going to press ourselves up. So for this next shape, we're going to come onto our back. So even if you don't have time to do the whole sequence to get to sleep, just picking one of these poses can really help. This pose is called supported bridge, and it is a great one when we're stressed and suffering from lack of sleep. We lift up our hips and we take a brick underneath the lower back. And that can also be a bolster under the lower back, a cushion or so. We don't want a very high back bend because they're really stimulating. So just a sort of gentle one. And we take the brick, bolster, cushion, whatever it is you've got, to the sacrum, which is the triangular bone at the bottom of the spine. Now your arms can perhaps rest out to the side, even overhead, but make sure that's okay for the shoulders. Or if you're feeling really agitated, they might rest on your tummy. And then you can feel the breath coming in and out beneath the hands. So again, I'm just going to get out to talk to you. There is a teacher called Max Strong who teaches this in his sleep sequence. And he recommends a very specific breath for this, which is called 4-7-8 breath. So you breathe in for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you breathe out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, me counting the breath isn't helpful. It can lead to agitation and you might even feel you're gulping the breath. So find your own pattern here, 4, 7, 8. And that might be quicker or slower than me. So as always, thoughts may pop in. Can you just watch them as they pop out? There's a saying, a Zen saying, that your thoughts come in through the back door and leave through the front door. You don't have to make them tea. So just acknowledge them. Often when we don't sleep, it's because we're chasing our thoughts. And that's very classic. When we wake up in the middle of the night, we just start thinking and racing ahead. We panic that we won't be on full capacity. If we can just let all of that go, we can just connect to our breathing, we will get more rested. So just a minute or so here doing this 4, 7, 8 breath. So once again, shortly you will hear the bell. Upon the bell, take 3 more deep breaths. Let each one get a little deeper. And then very gently remove the brick from beneath your lower back. Take the hips down to the ground. And take a moment there. So our next shape, again, in the middle of the night, you can just quite literally swing round and take your feet up the wall above the headboard. This is, again, a very good sleep pose. Also really good to balance our hormones, especially around menopause. And it's called legs up the wall. The recommendation is sometimes to do this for 20 minutes in the afternoon. We're just going to get a taste of it now. So what we do to get into this shape, now you might have a wall or you might be putting your thighs up on a sofa or a chair. So just use what you've got. I'm going to do it from the wall. So I sit sideways on, lie down, and then quite literally turn round and put my legs up the wall. So really it is what it says on the tin. And then you might just put a cushion underneath your hips. So how close you are to the wall really does depend on your hamstrings. If your hamstrings are tight, you might want to come some distance away. And then you take your palms, arms out to the side with the palms up. So make sure your head isn't on a hard floor. You're just relaxing, maybe on a cushion. This is also really good, actually, if you, I was going to say, if you get on a plane, I don't know if we'll ever get on a plane again some days, but if you get off a plane and we get swollen ankles, this is a great way to release that as all the lymph drains away from the ankles. Ideally not in the baggage collection hall, but a good one to do. So soften here. There's a little bend in the knees. And again, I'm just going to come out of this shape, but I encourage you to stay in it. And this is a glorious one to do when you're feeling agitated. And if you like a visualization, just visualize that this is there's a cool water, like a fountain, and it's just cascading down the feet. Softening the feet, let it go into the calf muscles, the backs of the knees. Down into the thighs and the pelvis. This downward flow of energy. And I would invite you again to do 4, 7, 8 breath. So we're breathing in for a count of 4. Holding the breath for a count of 7. And a long, full, slow exhale out for a count of 8. And again, we witness the thought. We are human beings. We will always think. Only sleep really stops our thinking. So a reminder of the quote from Pema Chodron, you are the sky. Everything else is just the weather. So just watch the weather system of your thoughts. Float in and then float out. So again, if you have the time, this would be one to do perhaps even 15 minutes or so. And just this one on its own is a great getting you off to sleep pose. But again, we're just tasting these shapes today. We're not spending too long in them. So as you hear the bell, once again, take 3 deep breaths. So come out of this very slowly. How we do that is bend the knees, bring them in towards your chest, and then take some time to roll onto your side and press yourself up to a seat. And then let's come back onto our back. So as we come onto the back, we're just going to lie down, bring those knees in towards your chest, just a gentle rock from side to side. And then always good to take a little twist as well to reset the spine. So we're going to bring our knees over to the right. Let your right hand rest on the left thigh. Now, if there's any pulling in the lower back, just wiggle your hips back a little bit. And then take your left arm out to the side. So just be careful with your neck. Make sure the right elbow is resting, the hand rests on the thigh. And then as we turn, we might look up to the sky or we might look towards our left elbow or left hand. Just make sure whatever it is you're doing is comfortable. And then we're here for 2 minutes. And again, there'll be a bell at the end. So when we come into a twist, we want to feel the breath moving into our side body. So breathing into the side ribs. Pause at the top of the inhale. Exhale out. Pause at the end of the exhale. So we're adding what we call a kumbhaka now, a little pause. And it's these pauses that help our nervous system drop down a gear. So breathing in, pause. Breathing out, pause. So let the breath breathe you. You don't have to control it. And again, that's what dropping into sleep is. It's about letting go of all the worries and cares of today, including perhaps our upset about not sleeping. Can we just accept things as they are? Try that for 1 more minute. And take your time to very slowly come back to center. Super slow now. And as your knees come back to center, you might just need to do a little readjustment. Bring your knees in line with the nose. That means your spine is in line. And then we're just going to drop the knees over to the opposite side. So as your knees come over to the left, you're going to take your left hand and just rest it somewhere between the right hip and the right knee. Let the left elbow drop. Make sure there's no unconscious tension in the shoulders. And then bring your right arm out to the side. And again, you might look at your right thumb. You might look at the right crook of the elbow, or you might look at the sky. And take this rest now for 2 minutes on this side and just let your awareness drop into your body. There's a famous quote from a James Joyce novel where he describes the character, Mr. Duffy, as living a short distance from his body. And when we're agitated, rattled, suffering from lack of sleep, we're nearly always not in our body, we're in our head. So where are you feeling your breath right now? Just drop into this, what we call interoceptive state. What's going on inside you, not in the head. And then very softly come back to center. So if you're watching this, as I hope you are, this is now when you toddle off to sleep. So perhaps you clean your teeth, get into your pajamas before you do this practice, but we're going to come into our Shavasana now. So if you're taking this as a yoga practice, you might be on the ground. Otherwise, you might actually be in your bed. Let the palms come out to the side, face up. Ever so gently tuck the chin and relax and release the shoulders. And now let the breath be its own way as you come into that natural state. So breathing in through the nose, softening and releasing as you breathe out. So we're going to do a really short body scan. And then hopefully I will leave you to sleep. So breathing in, breathing out. Take your awareness to the soles of the feet. And can you soften there? As the feet soften, let your awareness creep up into the calf muscles, backs of the knees, backs of the thighs up into the pelvis. And from the pelvis to the heels, get a real sense of restfulness in the legs. And as the legs rest, can you bring your awareness up to the side ribs now? And expand the breath into your side ribs, all the way up to your armpits. Feel the belly rise. And as you breathe out, soften there, the belly, the arms, the shoulders, the elbows and the wrists. And just make your awareness to the throat as you do a little swallow. Let go of any words that might be needed to be said. And soften all the facial features. Relax the backs of the eyes. Notice the breath as it comes in through your nose. And as you breathe out, relax and release the jaw. And take your time now to rest here. So normally I close these practices, but for today, I'm just going to let you stay for as long as you need to get the sleep that you so richly deserve. Breathing in, breathing out to the whole body, as if the whole body breathes out. And I thank you for joining me. Namaste.